Millions of gallons of vegetable oil and shortening are used every year in homes throughout the United States to cook chicken, French fries, and other food products. People simply enjoy the marvelous flavors added to foods through home frying. Our diet includes the familiar 4 basic food groups: fruits and vegetables, dairy products, meats and poultry, and grains. But beyond the basic 4, another group is now recognized, and it includes fats and oils, which contribute to our overall nutrition by offering a rich source of energy. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, vegetable oils provide essential fatty acids and certain vitamins, and fats and oils contribute a pleasing taste to some foods, along with a certain feeling of satisfaction after eating. There are, however, a few important things to remember about cooking and using vegetable oils and shortening. Above all, safe and correct cooking requires your full attention.
Mom! Hey, Billy! Look at the new uniform Coach just got.
You look terrific.
Can you come outside and take a picture of Jimmy and me in our new uniform?
Oh, well, I don't know. I can't think about it right this second. Billy, would you get me a frying pan out of the cupboard, please?
Okay. How about this one?
Oh, no, not that one. It's too big. The 10-inch one, the small one.
Thank you. Jimmy's waiting. What are we having for dinner?
Chicken.
Great. Mom, please. It'll only take a second.
Listen, Billy, I just can't stop now.
Aw, please, Mom.
Look, why don't you find out if Jimmy can come back later, okay? If not, ask me again after dinner. Now go on outside. I'll call you in a few minutes when dinner's ready. Don't get your uniform dirty, all right?
Okay.
Hello?
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mother. How's everything?
Dinner time?
Yes, it is nearly dinner time. I'm just getting it ready now.
What's on the menu?
Chicken. Fried chicken, corn on the cob, and salad. Just the way you cook it.
Sounds good.
How's Dad?
He's doing real well. He's outside now.
I'm glad to hear he's feeling better.
How are Billy and George?
Billy and George are just fine. In fact, George should be home in about half an hour now.
Are we going to see you this weekend?
I don't really know if we can make it over this weekend or not, Mom.
Mom! Jimmy and his mom want to take the pictures now. Besides, I want to send one to Grandma. It'll only take a second.
Billy, I'm busy.
Mom!
Mom, can you hold on a second?
Let's go,
I have got to take a picture of Billy and a neighbor boy in their new baseball uniforms. I'll be right back.
All right.
Let's go.
Oh, hi, Mary. I'm awfully sorry Billy had to drag you out here. I'm just not going to be back this way again today.
It's no problem.
Okay.
All right, boys, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Boy, Jimmy's gotten a lot taller.
Gosh, so is Billy.
Oh, let's see how this comes out.
Gee, they look so tall in their uniforms, don't they?
They do.
Hello? Hello, Mary? I'm still here, Mary.
Look at that silly grin on Billy's face. They look cute.
That's really neat.
Mary, I haven't got all day. Mary, are you there?
Maybe we better take another one anyway.
Yeah,
Let's
might
do
not
that.
be a bad idea.
Grandma want to see his big blue eyes. Oh, there.
Oh, I'm glad you could bring them home today. I have been so busy.
Why do people have fires in their kitchen? Because they just don't give cooking their full attention. Let's take a closer look at what just happened. How did we go from a routine dinner to a fire that could cause extensive damage? Mary was in a hurry, so she set her stove's cooking temperature too high.
Come on, let's go, come on!
She was distracted, so she left her cooking unattended.
Okay, boys, get ready. Hold it.
Had she been in the room or in the vicinity of her stove, she would have noticed the obvious warning sign of potential trouble: smoke. Vegetable oil will smoke long before it burns. Had Mary noticed the smoke, she could have reduced the heat under the oil in time to avoid the fire. To emphasize these conclusions, let's recreate Mary's situation, but this time under controlled laboratory conditions.
I'm going to pour 2 cups of oil in this measuring cup. Place the oil in this 10-inch skillet. The 10-inch skillet is equipped with a pyrometer, which is a device to measure temperatures of the oil while it's heating, and it's recorded on this instrument. This is the timer, which will show us how long it takes to heat the oil to fire point.
We'll investigate 3 different situations. First, we'll use a gas flame set to high heat, allowing the first pan of oil to heat continuously for several minutes. In this presentation, we'll compress time through the use of time-lapse photography. For reference, keep your eyes on the digital thermometer and the clock. After 10 to 15 minutes, the oil begins to smoke lightly and a fairly strong odor can be detected. These are clear and unavoidable early warning signals. An alert, safety-minded homemaker would reduce the heat immediately, eliminating the danger of fire. We expect the fire point for oil to occur at a temperature around 690 degrees Fahrenheit. Under typical kitchen conditions, 2 cups of oil heating in a 10-inch skillet on high setting can be expected to flame after a total elapsed time of approximately 30 minutes. Now let's change one of the variables of our experiment. What will happen if we use an electric heating element rather than gas? You'll notice that at normal cooking temperature, the oil is not smoking. Again, smoke appeared between 10 and 15 minutes when the burner was left on high. The smoke gets heavier and the smell stronger. The electric burner took a minute less to reach fire point this time, but the difference is not significant. This time, the temperature reads 700 degrees and 28 minutes has elapsed. How about using shortening instead of oil? Although the shortening must melt, the temperature rises rapidly over a gas flame. At normal cooking temperature, there is no smoke. On this trial, smoke began after only 6 minutes at just over 400 degrees. Again, with shortening, the smoke thickened as temperature rose and time passed. Fire point, 711 degrees after 24 minutes. We conclude that the basic results are similar for all of our tests. Oil or shortening, left unattended over a high heat source, begins to smoke after 10 to 15 minutes, and the oil catches fire only after another 15 to 20 minutes of increasingly thick smoke. How do we prevent oil and shortening fires from occurring? Very simply, never leave heating oil or shortening unattended. Take your time. Use a medium heat source. If the oil gets too hot, it will smoke, and the smoke is strong smelling and clearly visible. Turn the heat down or off if the oil smokes. Cooking can be fun and safe if we give the task our undivided attention. Remember, if we just follow the given warnings on the labels, we'll stay out of trouble. If you enjoy frying foods, remember it takes your full attention. Whether you're frying chicken or potatoes, cooking in a wok or in a deep fat fryer, when the smoke gives you the warning, reduce the heat and fry it safe.
Hello. Hey, I'm Skip Alsheimer of AV Geeks. Welcome to our lunchtime streaming event. It's Friday, and I want French fries and actually fried chicken. Actually, I want anything deep fat fried at this moment. I can kind of do it here at the house, but man, there's something about... Anyways, that last film, Fry It Safe, was a safety film made by Hunt-Wesson. Hunt-Wesson, who makes many of the cooking oils and cooking things that we love to use to cook our food. And some of you saw the, what's that guy's name? The kid, Jason Hervey. Jason Hervey, who was in The Wonder Years and was also in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. He plays the celebrity who gets a bike at the studio, gets Pee-wee's bike at the Hollywood studio, and Pee-wee steals it back. Anyways, he plays a obnoxious little leaguer who nearly burns the house down thanks to his mom's catering to his every wish. Anyhow, yeah, so today yesterday I talked about showing a bunch of films with bikes in them because I have several films about bikes, and some of them are awesome, some of them get crazy. So let's start off with a Sid Davis film. Sid Davis was a single filmmaker who had a vision, and his vision was that kids need to be educated about dangerous strangers. And he basically made the same film with the same plot over and over and over and over again. And sometimes it was called Dangerous Stranger. Sometimes it was called Roscoe's Rules. The variation was all over the map. But he has the same type of formulaic deal in that it's inexpensive. So there's rarely any sync sound. It's all narrated. And there is kids getting hurt a lot. And so this is Bicycle Clown. Enjoy.
program, and I wanted to get a few facts about bike accidents. One of the officers told me that their reports had shown 1 out of every 4 bike accidents involves a bicycle that is mechanically defective. 1 out of every 3 bicycle accidents involve an automobile. But 2 out of every 3 bike riders injured or killed in a collision have violated a traffic law or safety rule. Mechanically defective bicycles cause accidents. What about Jimmy's bike? Did he keep it in good shape? I went to talk to Mr. Burt, the owner of the bicycle shop in our neighborhood, and he told me that Jimmy knew perfectly well that it is important to keep a bike in tip-top shape. He knew that a mechanically perfect bike must have properly adjusted brakes, handlebars set tightly in the frame, a horn or bell that can be heard at least 100 feet, a saddle that is adjusted correctly and tightened firmly, a clean, well-oiled chain with the right tension, just enough to keep it from jumping off the sprockets, tires that are not worn beyond safety and are kept inflated with the correct air pressure, and pedals that do not have worn and slippery treads. But Jimmy was more interested in flashy ornaments that might impress his friends. He had no time to bother with a thing like a loose boat. To him, a showy ornament was more important. Ornaments are fine and can be fun, but they belong on a sound bike. A well-kept bicycle is a safe bicycle. Some of Jimmy's schoolmates told me how Jimmy once almost got hurt because of his clowning and showing off on his bicycle. Jimmy had made the kids laugh all right with his stunt riding and clowning. He wanted to draw attention to himself, and he foolishly thought this childish showing off was the way to do it. He didn't realize that his friends were laughing at him, not with him. I went to talk to Mr. Brown, who taught Jimmy's class the bicycle safety program. He told me that Jimmy was a good bike rider, one of the best in his class. But he also said that Jimmy had the silly and dangerous notion that a good bike rider can take chances, and he would violate the most important safety rules. Just to impress his schoolmates, he would take his life in his hands. I remembered something Mike had told me about the little tricks Jimmy would use to keep out of trouble when he was caught doing something wrong on his bike. Once when he was stopped by a police officer, he acted extra polite and sorry and said, "Yes, sir," all the time, while the police officer told him that it is against the law to ride 2 on a bike, and that a bicycle rider must ride on the right side of the street, just like a car. Little Mike from down the street hero-worshipped Jimmy. He thought Jimmy could ride a bike faster and better than anyone. It must have been important for Jimmy to be admired, even by little Mike, but it was a serious mistake to try to win this admiration by reckless and illegal bike riding. Every Saturday afternoon, Jimmy used to deliver papers for a neighborhood newspaper, and I went to see the route man. He told me that Jimmy was a good and dependable worker, but that a couple of people on his route had complained about his reckless bike riding. Only recently he'd warned Jimmy that he couldn't work for the paper if he didn't ride his bike safely and correctly on his route. It seemed that Jimmy had been riding on the sidewalk instead of on the street, despite repeated warnings, and almost had run into a lady with a small baby. The route man had given Jimmy a good talking to. He told him that serious accidents can happen that way, both to Jimmy himself and to others. But the route man said that he felt that Jimmy had that foolish and dangerous "it won't happen to me" attitude. From Jimmy's teacher, I learned that Jimmy was a bright and willing student, but she also told me that Jimmy recently had a little disappointment. Jimmy's class was forming its basketball team, and Mr. Wade put on a game to select the players. Jimmy had his heart set on getting on the team, and he was bitterly disappointed when he was not chosen. That afternoon, Jimmy had outdone himself with his foolish showing off on his bike, as if he were trying to make up in this manner for his earlier disappointment and win the admiration of his friends in another way, through reckless stunning. But although his classmates watched him and laughed at him when he showed off, they knew he was being foolish and childish. And it was that same
So that is Bicycle Clown, and it's almost exactly the same as another film that Sid Davis made called Why Did Sammy Speed, where it is a high school student who is very reckless with his driving because he didn't get, I think because he got kicked off the baseball or basketball team. Anyways, it's the same thing. It's this bravado. In this one, Sammy actually gets killed. So I'm not sure which film came first, but Sid Davis was very resourceful in reusing scripts and ideas, and he's one of these amazing kind of lone American filmmakers who had a vision and felt like he needed to make these films and got a lot of attention for that. And a lot of people, actually, John Wayne funded many of his first projects, mostly because Sid was a stand-in for John Wayne. So they spent some time together. And so Sid Davis actually kind of spun this into a little independent film industry, educational film industry of cautionary tales, and many times showing things that were urban legends at the time about how kids were being harmed and killed and kidnapped and things like that. So he's definitely one of the people that led to the stranger danger movement. He also did the film Boys Beware, which talks about homosexuals very inaccurately, but in a child predator sense. So definitely child predators are obviously something that existed, but he defined homosexuals as being simply child predators. And he actually revised it many, many years later after the film called Pedophile, where he kind of distinguishes, or somebody working for Sid Davis distinguishes that there's homosexuals and then there's child predators, and they're different. Anyways, so great things to talk about on a Friday, Friday for lunch. So bicycles. Lots of great bicycle things here. Let's see. What do we got? Oh man, there's so many good ones to choose from. I'm going to show this next one. What is great about this film? This was made by Centron for GM, and it uses the metaphor that you start off as a bicycle driver, and then you eventually become a car driver. So you learn good behavior so that you can, when you're driving a bike, so that when you drive a car, you'll know better. What's great about this is actually narrated by Jim Stringer. Jim Stringer, we showed Shake Hands with Danger. Jim Stringer wrote that music. And also, I don't know if I showed Shoplifting. I can't even, God, the title just escaped my head. Anyways, he appears in that. So anyways, Jim Stringer in I Like Bikes.
My name is Ike. I'm a bike. As drivers, you're going to see a lot of me. Bikes and cars are a great part of our style of life. We like freedom and mobility, but we have to get along together. I like bikes. Ooh, some bump. Gliding fancy-free. I like bikes. They're number one with me. I like bikes. I'm just a biking nut. I like bikes. But
I like bikes.
And then, when Lisa was 5,
I like bikes.
Lisa's 10 now. And
I like bikes.
at 15, she likes bikes, but she loves cars. When she gets her license, will she change her likes? Will she still like bikes? We'll see. When she gets her license, when she gets her license, when it gets here, if she ever gets her license, will she still like bikes? Well, tonight will be the test. It's time to solo. I like bikes, but they're so hard to see. Oh yeah, they're so hard to see. Look at me. I blend with fogs. I hide behind dogs. And when the thunder crashes, I'm out there making splashes. I lurk in drives. And when the sun gets in your eyes, surprise! Oh yes, I'm hard to see. So please, watch out for me. Hey, she likes me! Hard to see. Watch out. Now she's someone who really can say, I like bikes. Hard to see. Watch out. So, keep your eye on that reflection, because you can't tell which direction I'm going to be hard to see. bike is easily upset. You bet. I like bikes, but little things upset them. It isn't only when I'm wet that I'm easily upset. And just let me try to travel on gravel, or tangle my chain, or run across a roadway drain, or fallen leaves. Sheesh, what a pain. Little things upset us. Oh, we bikes. Why can't we? Why don't we? Why can't we pay attention? Why can't we seem to notice a sign beside the road is meant for us? The signs all point the way to accident prevention. Why, oh why can't we pay attention? Until the day we do, I'm afraid it's up to you. Hey, good girl. Again, I ought to mention that you should pay attention, because sometimes we don't. Thanks again, miss, for showing us that you like bikes. I like bikes. Gliding fancy-free. I like bikes. They're number one with me. I like their style. They make me smile. They suit me to a T. But safety-wise, please realize, you never should trust me. I like bikes, but I like bikes, but I like bikes, but so to make the going safer for each big and little shaver, for all the golden oldies and the tykes, though the biker may be wrong, if you like us, you belong. So say what we've been saying all along. I like bikes. And then act like it, please.
So that was Jim Stringer, who was narrating and also did the music. That's how he came to Centron, was that he was a musician, composer, who also did voiceover work and appeared in Caught in a Ripoff, which is a really great shoplifting film where he steals a tiny can of paint and then runs for it. I don't know if we've shown it on here. If not, I'd like to show it at some point because it's so good. There's other Jim Stringer films that I've located. We actually did a retrospect with Jim in Austin, Texas at the Alamo Draft House, where we did a sing-along for the full version of Shake Hands with Danger. Which was glorious, glorious time. Anyhow, I like bikes. I am going to overshare a little bit here. I loved bikes when I was a kid, and I had a pretty bad accident with a bike, just me, because I was doing something very stupid, and basically my foot slipped under the pedal as I was pedaling really hard, and so my foot was dragging, and there's the bar, and I kind of went like this on the bike bar that are on boys' bikes, and was in excruciating pain for a while. And years later, I've had to have surgeries to correct internal scar tissue. That little bike accident has cost me at least $18,000. And it keeps happening. It's not going to go away. It'll probably be every so often I have to go get surgery. So, good times, bikes. No, I enjoy bikes. I like them. But, anyhow. All right. So many good bike films here to choose from. This next film is really, really great. The beginning is a little splicey, but essentially, I'll explain this to you. Basically, it's these two kids, two boys, who are very jealous of a new bike that their friend has, and they decide to steal it. This is The Bike. It is filmed by Caleb Deschanel, who you might know is a cinematographer, who's also, I believe, the father of Zoe Deschanel and her sister, whose name is escaping me. Boy, Fridays. But, you can look it up. She's on Bones. Anyways, there's a couple of films in this series. There's called Lost Puppy, The Bike. It really looks at a kid's mind. There's no narration. And this is really a phenomenal film. So here's The Bike.
Hey, where did you get that bike? For my birthday. Can I ride it? No. What about next time?
I'm going to leave soon. Did you put my brown hat in the car?
Yeah.
Don't say yeah.
Yeah.
Your mother had something for you to carry out.
All right. Here's a neat one. Hit it. No, my father said nobody could. Get off my fence, you're gonna break it. I'm not gonna break it. Well, you better get off before you do. Boy, who wants to ride that stinking old bike? Do you want to go to the park, Keith? I can't. My bike's broken. Did you see Steve's new bike? Yeah. Want to go see it again? Okay. Is anybody home? I don't think so. Where'd they go? Swimming. Cool bike. Yeah. Wanna go over the fence? Okay. If we're gonna look at it, yeah. Goes up to 3? Yeah. Neat bike. Hey, if you ride the bike, we can go to the park. Come on, Keith. I won't be your friend anymore. We better not. What about he comes home late? Why not? What about he comes home late? How do you know? I just know. But I'm still thinking we don't. Keith, come on, please. Well, okay. Promise me something. A good break. Your fault. How do you know? New bikes don't break. Oh, you're funny. These are good popsicles. Yeah. Every time I'm hungry, get these. Me too. I get to ride the bike back. Oh, come on, Keith. I'll take care of it. I'm going to ride it. Me. You told me I could. I'm going to tell Steve on you. How could you? Yeah. You told me to ride it. Well, come on, please. Well, okay. But you have to take care of it. Okay. We better go now. Then I told you to take care of it? Well, yeah. Not ours. I know that. Hey, look, you made my popsicle dry. Oh, shut up. Oh, this is busted. So will the brake. I saw it. Look at the horn. How about we're going to ask them? And the shift too. Here, look at the horn now. It's all busted. See? Hey, where's that rubber thing it was on? You slid it and it went right in the trash can. No, that was it. Now we're not to try. And look, the stiffs won't work. Oh, look. This is what I'm doing. Only it's too big. We're going to get this bike home fast. Let's get it to your house and try to fix it. Ah! But my house is very far. Okay, we'll just walk with it. All right. Shall we fix it? We have to take it to my garage. You got a wrench? Yeah, but you have to help me. You're the one who broke it. It's not my fault. You took it. Oh, God. There's a big scratch on the front fender. Yeah, okay. Daddy, stop playing around. We have to hurry. Come on. I want blow bubbles. Come on. Okay. Does the horn work? No, I can't get to work. We better get the bike back right now. That's right. Okay. And we'll see. Good. Keith's the other way. Oh. Okay, let's get out. No, not the front wheel. Supposed to be. It's supposed to be back forward. No! Well, it's supposed to go up here. No! Well, we better go. Come on, let's take this. Keith, are you going to tell on me? I know you're going to tell. I think you should tell, White. You're the one who told me to bring... Huh? No. You're going to tell. Why should I tell? Because you told me to bring it. It's your fault now. You're the one who's going to get in trouble, not me. Who are you? No, I'm not. I'm sure. Hey, Bobby, get out of here. Get out of here, Bob. Hurry up. Are you going to really tell, Keith? No, I'm not even going to tell. You should tell. I mean it. Then who is going to tell? You. Not me. Yes, you are. You can't make me. I won't be your friend. Keith! Look at me! Hey, Keith, Steve's down there. I better go home and eat my dinner. I know what you're going to do, tell. Yes, you are. Go ahead, I'm going to watch you. And you better not either. Hey, Keith, come on, I want to talk to you. Hey, Keith! Come on, don't tell.
Man, such a great film. Holy cow. And that kid completely wiped out. I mean, there was no editing tricks or anything. That kid, it was a straight-on shot, and that kid was going, ah, and then wham. And what happened? His friend started laughing as soon as he busted his butt. This is a film that I would love to find the filmmakers and to find out how this film was made, because the dialogue seems really unscripted. I mean, it had to have been scripted. So how do you get these kids to do this? They were mumbling, like, so how many shots did it take? Like, they're in the kids' faces. Like, it's really a phenomenal film. And the Lost Puppy, which is another film in this series, the same. It's equally like a kid's brain kind of sitting there trying to figure out and talking and not talking and expressing and kind of this. It really feels so incredibly genuine. It's a rarity to find educational films that seek that level. And of course, there's no resolution at the end, so this is then an opportunity for kids to talk with the teacher about, like, what would you do, and to kind of talk about the crisis of consciousness, as far as, like, what would you do in this situation? What is the right thing to do? If it was your bike, how would you feel? Kind of exploring those things. I love films like that. All right. So we're going to go from beautiful to over-the-top insanity. This is a bike safety film, probably one of the craziest ones. I'm sure most of you know of it. If you don't, brace yourself. This film is ludicrous for so many reasons. It's ludicrous because the title and the kind of how it gets to where it gets to. It's ludicrous because it shows many kids in peril, and it's ludicrous because the kids are all wearing papier-mâché monkey masks. Here's One Got Fat. One Got Fat. Here we go. Enjoy.
This story is about 10 rather close relations of ours who seem to get into almost exactly the same kind of trouble we do. All 10 of these jolly characters lived in the same neighborhood and were all good friends, generally speaking. Each of them had a bicycle, and each took care of his bicycle in exactly the way that he took care of himself. One day they held a group think and decided to have a picnic in a little park just 9 blocks away. Now that doesn't sound far, but a lot can happen in 9 blocks, right? Well, sound off out there. I said right? Right. So, they all ran home and made themselves sandwiches. I know that doesn't sound too likely, but of course, they're not quite human. Then they hurried back, all ready to go. Now, one of the 10 was a rather hungry type. His name was Slim Jim McGupney, and his picnic lunch was what you might call a portable banquet, right? Right. Slim knew that his big sack would be hard to handle, so he asked Orville Slump if he'd carry it for him. Orville had a basket on the rear of his bike. He was a good sort, and he answered, okay. Some of the others noticed this and asked him if he'd carry theirs, too. Orville answered graciously, well, I guess so. And naturally, everybody else did the same until Orville's rear basket looked like a chuck wagon. At last, they were ready to go, and at a given signal, they went. Now this is Rooty Toot Jasperson. He had the newest bike in the bunch, and he was as proud of it as he could be. He made it a point to get in the lead, and there he intended to stay. It would seem that Rooty Toot was a slam-bang go-getter headed for big things in life, right? Right. But when you have to be first all the time, there are a few things you find you don't have time for. Such things as making hand signals. Oh, he knew very well that bike riders are supposed to signal just like auto drivers. Hand down for slow or stop. Hand up for right turn. Hand straight out for left turn. But pretty soon, he began to feel silly making so many signals to stay out in front. So he skipped one to rest his poor old tired arm. Just one signal, once. At this point, Rooty Toot Jasperson left the party. This charming little thing was actually christened Tinkerbell McDillingfiddy. She's a sweet and lovely girl, but she has a rather poor memory. Sometimes she forgets to brush her teeth. Sometimes she leaves homework at home. And sometimes she forgets to look at traffic signals. Now she knows that she should. She knows that she should ride just like auto drivers drive. But she's so busy being happy all the time that her little thoughts tend to wander and... Oh, dear, dear, they're wandering again. Here she goes. Exit Tinkerbell McDillingfiddy. She forgot now and then. Now, let me introduce Philip Flugel. He's a star athlete, the president of his class, an honor student, and he has the handsomest profile in school. Just look at it, will you? Now, Flug, as his friends call him, has one little flaw in his character. He is very easily bored. Right now, he's asking himself why everyone has to go up this side of the street. It's so samey. So, proving that even a class president can make mistakes, he decided to ride against traffic. Oh, he knows that auto drivers never do this, and that he should follow the very same traffic rules. But he's in the mood to do something different. Anyway, there are no policemen around to see him. Philip Flugel is no longer bored. You've probably wondered about this fellow on foot. Well, his name is Mosby Pomegranate. He is splendid in dramatics, but he works so hard memorizing his lines that he doesn't get around to a lot of other things. He never made it down to register his bike and get a license for it. He knows very well that a license makes it easy to find out who he is if he's in an accident, and makes the bike easy to trace if it's lost or stolen. That's his trouble. Last week, while he was rehearsing the lead in King Kong, someone rode off with his bike. He went to the police, but of course they couldn't help him since it had no license or registration. He stomped out of the police station angrily, and he's been stomping ever since. Farewell, Mossby Pomegranate, victim of fallen arches. If you look carefully, you'll see Trigby Phipps. He's the smaller one in Eclipse, trying to make that bike go. His passenger is an old friend of ours, Slim Jim McDuffney. Slim Jim's bike recently collapsed from the effects of his diet, and Trigby, being a nice little fellow, agreed to ride him. Now, he knows that no auto driver would drive with a passenger in his lap. He also knows that you can't see ahead very well with someone on the handlebars, and that you can't control the bike well, and that you can't make signals either. Furthermore, it is tiring. Right? Right. So long, fellas. There seems to be a flaw in the buddy system. Meet Nellie Zweiback. She's as nice as can be on foot. But when she gets on that bike, sweet Nellie becomes terribly impatient with other people's driving. Although there are only a few left now, she's having trouble sharing the street with them. So Nelbert is about to make a decision she'd never make if she weren't angry. There she goes. There she goes. She knows that riding on the sidewalk isn't allowed in her city and many others, and that even where it is, pedestrians always have the right of way. But Nelbert's upset, and she'd like to know just one good reason why she shouldn't take over the sidewalk all to herself. Nelbert Zweiback got her one good reason. Those noises you hear come from the transportation of Philbert Bagel. Philbert hates his old bike. He refuses to take care of it because his folks will probably give him a new one for his birthday. He can't see any reason for taking care of a heap of junk, even if he made it that way himself. He will in a moment, though. You see, he doesn't know it, but he'll find out that there's not a shred of a brake left. Now, Philbert would be the first to agree that if it's worth riding, it's worth taking care of. Right? Right. Quickly meet Stanislaw Higginbottom while you can. He's a nice boy, but he won't be with us long. You are now looking straight at Stanislaw Higginbottom. He has neither lights nor reflectors. Stanislaw just wasn't quite bright enough. All of which leaves Orville. he'll get fat all right. And here's why he ended up with all these groceries that he doesn't really want. This was Rooty Toot Jasperson. Maybe you remember why he didn't make the picnic. He didn't signal, just once. Do you recall Tinkerbell McDillingfiddy? She forgot to watch the signals, just once. And good old Phil Flugel, he rode up the wrong side of the street, once. Mosby Pomegranate was the walking one. He didn't get around to registering his bike and getting a license. It would have taken him only a few minutes. The small one was Trigby Phipps, and his passenger was Slim Jim McGuffney. They rode double into trouble. Who can forget Nelbert Swyback? She wanted to know one good reason why the sidewalks didn't belong to her. Then there was Filbert Bagel. He didn't take care of his brakes, so they didn't take care of him. And good old Stanislaw Higginbottom. No lights, no reflector, no Stanislaw. So that's why Orville Slump is picnicking alone today. He watched the signals, he obeyed traffic signs, he made hand signals, he rode alone, he stayed on the right side of the street, got a license, rode just like auto drivers drive, and kept the brakes and all in good condition. And he got fat. Of course, it was very lonely, but not as lonely as this. But then, as anyone can plainly see, he wasn't a monkey, right? Now, that sounds as if you really mean it, right?
What a phenomenal film. It's creepy, it's funny, it's morose. Brilliant, brilliant film. I actually had an email communication with someone who was in the film, whose father actually was one of the filmmakers who made the masks and was actually, I think his real job was he was doing art direction for Disneyland. Or for the film studios. I can't remember exactly which. But anyway, so he talked about the masks and how difficult they were to see. And wow, such an amazing film. I know it's shown up in lots of different places, Riff Tracks, Mystery Science Theater. I don't know if they did it or not, but it keeps showing up because it is just, it's creepy. And there is this dark, kind of Charles Addams-esque feel to it that just is brilliant. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in and watching us today. This is the end of the 5th week, and we're just going to keep doing it. We're going to take Saturday and Sunday off because I'm trying to distinguish between a weekday and a weekend day. So I'm not going to do streaming tomorrow. I think all of the events that we've done over the last 5 weeks are available online. You can go to avgeeks.com and they are archived there. So if you're jonesing to watch some educational films, you can go back and maybe watch ones you haven't seen that you missed. I'm happy that they're up there. Thank you so much for your support, showing up and allowing me to traumatize your eyeballs or show you kind of what's in my collection for your delight and horror. This is why I collect films. This is why I have 27,000 films, is that I like to show them to folks like you. Not every film is good. And so I try to find the ones that are really good and find the ones that are bad. And I skip, there's a section I skip, which are math films that aren't very interesting and geography films that aren't very interesting. And so I try to get you in between. So join me on Monday. There were some requests. Caught in a ripoff. It will be one that I will probably show. If I haven't shown it, I can't remember if I've shown it. Anybody want to chime in and tell me if I showed it? I can't remember. Because I showed it recently at a screening. Oof, my brain. Anyways, I guess I should keep track of this thing. So some people have asked about the roof. At the archive on Monday, a storm knocked down a tree on top of... There's a better way to do this, I'm sure. I could have sent this image. So anyways, it's the top of the roof. And I was able to cut half the branches off, and I'm going to go today and do the other half and be very safe. I don't have any chainsaw safety films, nor do I have any lumber safety films. So, sorry. I wish I did. Maybe one day. Anyways, everybody have a good weekend. If you like what you saw, you can go to avgeeks.com. You can buy DVDs there. We have got that solution working now so that we're able to make DVDs here from the house. Also, you can donate to Patreon and help us do what we do. Every little bit helps, and I appreciate you guys being there. The other thing you can do is just share and tell people what we do. So hopefully I'll see you all next week, beginning of week 6. Everybody have a relaxing weekend. Reach out to your friends you haven't talked to, and your family you haven't talked to recently. Just kind of check in on them, and we will see you soon. Take care, everybody.